Hey guys, I'm gonna give this a try doing this on my webcam, but I'm done. Okay, maybe not done, but I'm tired of all this stuff I am seeing going on. Again, sorry, my face is coming off a little weird. My webcam's here. This is new to me. I've only done this a few times, but like I said, I am so tired of this community becoming just so much about wanting reasons to continue this culture war, wanting reasons to be outraged, wanting reasons to be victims. I'm sorry, there are people in this community who want to be victims, no different than the SJWs. They will find ways of turning things around so they can say, oh, they're talking about us, they're coming after us, guys, we gotta double down. Things like that. This whole thing with restore the Snyderverse. Okay, I haven't been following this community fully in a while, but I seem to recall that a lot of people were saying, I like Scott Snyder, I want to see him continue his vision. Fine, I'm one of those too, but when did people start saying the fans, all of the fans, I mean, the comic DC fans and all that stuff, all of them wanted to see Scott's vision continue because he knows what's best for DC. When did that happen? Seriously, when the hell did this happen? When the hell did Zack suddenly become knowing what's best for DC and that if they're trying to take it away from me, it's coming at us? When the fuck did that happen? Seriously. Look, again, I mean no ill wills towards Zack. Okay? I mean no ill wills towards Zack himself. And like I said, I'm glad he got his Justice League out. In fact, I did admit it was better than what we got beforehand, for the most part. But I do not want to see the Snyder Cut continue. I don't want to see his vision continue on any longer. I am glad they are stopping it. But the other thing is, the Snyder fans, the cult side, those who are in it just for Scott and for not Scott, damn what Snyder, Zack's vision, those ones who will go after you and just hammer your channel or will gang up on you on Twitter. Those people, which do exist, stop acting like they're the minority of this group. A large number, those who try to ruin Jeff Johns, those who try to encourage Ray Fisher to keep doing this shit, all of that, all those who kept spreading around trying to say, you don't want this, or all this stuff, those people are in great numbers, and I gotta say also, I am not surprised if a number of those, not all of them, again, not all of them, but a good number of those zealots are the ones behind this Godzilla versus Kong stuff. Stop trying to act like, oh, those people, and they're making this up. WB is making this all up, making a whole bunch of false actors to blame these people so they can have excuses to then say, oh, we don't want you to do anything. We don't want you to enjoy this. Guys, that stupid article from the CEO of Warner Media, which I should also point out, last I checked, a number of people used to keep on saying, even Ray Fisher himself, that Warner Media represented AT&T and Warner Brothers represented itself. And that when you focus on Warner Media and hoping that they would be the ones in charge, you know what I'm saying. But now, out of the blue, because it's convenient for your narrative, you're going to keep on saying Warner Media was always Warner Brothers and AT&T was always separate. What is with the changing your story to fit your narrative? Seriously, you guys kept on saying time and again, Warner Media represents AT&T. That's what I kept on hearing. Now, because of that stupid article, Warner Media represents Warner Brothers and it always has. All so you can then say they're talking smack about restore the Snyderverse, which means they're talking about you guys. That means they're coming after us when they say that. Again, what? When did this change? When did now all of a sudden, because they're saying though there are toxic people in the release, the Snyder Cut, of which there were, and a large number of them, and a large vocal number of them. That's the thing people keep forgetting. No different than the SJWs. You had those on the release, the Snyder Cut, who were all very vocally toxic. And they exist. Just like so many in this freaking community exist. And people keep on saying, oh, they represent a small amount. Well, no shit, same to the SJWs. They don't represent everyone in the world. And yet we take it seriously. And yet we keep on expecting them to keep their people under control. And yet when it happens on our side, oh, you can't please everyone. You can't have it both ways, guys. You can't. You can't expect the SJWs to be able to handle things and that they should be canceled just as much. And yet when it's on our side, blah, blah, reason, excuse. No! That's not how it works. And the worst part is, and this is the main reason why I've been so quiet on this situation, we have gotten to the point where this culture war does not want people in the middle. They don't. They don't want people who are wanting to separate art from artists, who are wanting to call out both sides. No! You're either on one side or you're on the other side. That's it. That's the extremes we've gotten. We've gotten to such extremes that, I'm sorry, a lot of the big names on this side have started to act no different than the SJWs who take advantage of those who can't sing for themselves. Now, I'm not saying everyone can't sing for themselves, but there's a lot of people in this community who seem to just take everything some of the big names say as facts. And then you have so many of the other YouTubers who are now pushing it. Most of their other videos, they might actually put more thought into it, but when it comes particularly to Warner Bros. And DC, we must take the word of these big names. We must parrot everything. And even if we're proven wrong, we're not going to admit we're wrong, but we are going to keep on pushing this stuff, acting like we have sources, we have this, we have that. Even when I talk to some of them, and then they make it clear, oh, we can tell you this is legit, and it ends up not being legit, and my theories were right. We end up coming, and then again, they just move on to the next one that keeps on pushing this narrative of DC's failing, comics are failing, we're going to be number one, we should just band together, and then people eventually, when it collapses, they're all going to come our way. No, they're freaking not going to come your way. If the comic industry collapses, you know what's going to happen? It's going to collapse, and anyone left is just going to be underground and are just going to not get anywhere. It's never going to reach the big numbers. So I'm sorry, no one's going to end up climbing up and being the new Marvel or DC. If Marvel and DC go under, don't expect it to go anywhere further than that. You might get some people who are able to who have connections still in the industry, usually ones like Robert Kirkman, those who are still already established now, to be able to get, make things somewhat mainstream, be able to get movies, TV show deals, all that stuff. But anyone else, good luck with that. Because that's what will happen. You might have a few stragglers, but in a couple more years or decades, if the big two are gone, comics are just going to fade away to an underground medium. Because let's be honest, it hasn't been a big mainstream thing. You have all the movies based off of them, yes. But as far as comics, most people don't care. And that leads me to another thing. And I've gotten into arguments with people who defend the Snyderverse. Guys, like I said, I am glad he got to finish his stuff. But when I get into these DC movies, I want them to be faithful. Not 100%, but enough when Marvel at its best was able to make changes. I wouldn't accept those kind of changes for DC. But I don't, for example, want Zack Snyder's, we're going to have Batman, Superbat, Speedy Bat, Water Bat, Batwoman, Robo-Bat. Because that's what the Justice League were. Everyone's Batman. And that is not something I want to see continue. That's why I'm glad they're not going with it. Natalie, actually, go back to that article. I'm sorry, my mind's all over the map, but I'm that frustrated. That article. The way I saw it was this. Anna, whatever her name is, the CEO of Warner Media, who came out and said they do not want to continue the Snyderverse. They let him finish it, which was their plan. Despite other people keep on saying, oh, they're going to keep on continuing. Oh, Zack's going to take over from Patty Jenkins. Oh, Zack's going to finish his Justice League trilogy. No, they let him finish his movie trilogy, Man of Steel, BVS, and Justice League, and that was it. And when they brought about fans, there were people in the Snyder Cut, released the Snyder Cut that were toxic. They were. As far as those people have been able to see with the release of the Snyder Cut, people from, as far as optics go, they are toxic. You got to acknowledge those people. The ones that make the group look bad were toxic. The stuff with Ray Fisher made it look toxic. You have to acknowledge it. Stop. And that's because they're saying it does not mean they're after you guys. Does not mean they were after you guys and were wanting to say, oh, and they were not saying, nowhere in that article that I read were they saying, oh, don't defend what you want. Don't complain about the versions you're getting. Don't try and stand up. That is not what I got at all. But you guys want to see it that way because you guys want to keep being mad. You want to keep being angry. And if anyone doesn't agree with you, then they are just part of the problem. And I'm just going to say this right away, right here now. That's the biggest reason why I stopped wanting to even be remotely, even indirectly associated with this group. Because I was flat out told, when I kept saying I separate art from artists, I was flat out told by one of the bigger names at the time, he's not as big now, that I was part of the problem. Just because I separate art from artists. Just because I'm still willing to buy stuff that I get enjoyment out of. Because I'm not one of those who says, oh, they said this and that, not to me, but to someone else. Oh, boycott! That is not me. That has never been me. But I am still a fan. I still believe in a lot of the good messages of this community. But apparently that's not enough. Apparently you have to be a hive mind and all think and act alike. Much like those on the left. You have to be one of them, otherwise you're a traitor to the cause. And that's where we've gotten. I feel no more place here than I have when I've seen those on the left get this bad. I am sorry, but it has gotten that bad. And now you have so many people who would rather say, and here's the other thing, my other little rant. After the stuff with the Zack Snyder going on Geeks and Gamers, you know what my opinion was on those who said they should have lashed out at Zack, they should have been assholes and stood up for themselves? All I'm hearing is people who want a bunch of short-term self-gratitude, pats on the back, thinking, yeah, we did good, not thinking about the long-term repercussions because they don't care about long-term. They'd rather just feel good in the moment. These are the people who, back in the day, you remember back in the day when you probably heard the incident or incidences, I think they happened more than once, where someone went up to Rob Liefeld, put in front of him a How to Draw the Marvel Way and said, maybe you should read this. Because in their minds, they felt everyone wanted to say this. And I'm the one to have the balls to do it. And everyone's going to feel great to find someone said it. And then most people thought they were an asshole. This is no different. You know why? Because you still have to take certain things into account. Stop thinking everyone is out to get you. Stop thinking that everyone should be treated. And this whole stupid belief that, oh, anyone who tries to show respect to someone that doesn't show it back, you're just asking for the L's, the losses. Then that basically means you want to keep on fighting the whole time, and you're not going to get anywhere. I guess that example I just gave was Rob Liefeld. You will look like an asshole. You might get an immediate satisfaction, but in the long run, no one's going to take you seriously. And that's been the biggest problem with this community. No one takes it seriously anymore because you've had more of the assholes speaking out, and that's what everyone sees. You guys have become the assholes that people keep on saying were originally. That these people on the left were accusing you of. You have become that. Being jaded and knee-jerk reactionary and all that stuff. You guys, again, not all of you, but those of you out there, you know who you are. You are doing this, whether you want to admit it or not. You have become the type of people you were accused of by the SJWs. You are becoming those, and you guys either are unaware of it or don't care about it because you feel this is the only way for this culture war to win the culture war. You're not going to win anything in the culture war. Not if everyone who's in the middle sees you guys as assholes. All you guys are doing is trying to cater to those who share your sensibility. Again, just like those on the left. You don't care about the majority of people. Those who who are in the middle, who are probably not always outspoken. Those who might not have heard of what's going on. But when they do, and they hear about the stuff you guys do, and they realize, why would anyone want to be with that side? Do you guys ever think about that? If you want to cater, you got to cater to those who are in the middle. Those who are not in the know, who eventually will become in the know. But you guys don't care. All you care about is those who are in your immediate circles you just want to cater to. And you just want them to make them feel good. You want to just keep on pushing the usual, everything is going to collapse and we're going to be the last man standing, or everything's out to get us mentalities, because that's what everyone else wants to hear, so they're going to keep coming to your channels. Me, I just want to talk comics, but I don't even feel comfortable doing that anymore. Not with everything going on. The thing is, and that's part of the reason why I've kind of cut back on a lot of my stuff, because I just don't have it in me after I watch this community. Alright? I don't feel comfortable because this community doesn't feel like it has it going on, it has its shit together anymore. Feels like everyone wants to just parrot what the big named YouTubers are saying, and then not even think for themselves. They want to assume everything's going to be woke. Everything is, even remotely, like everything announced that has a woman, a person of color, gay, whatever, instantly woke. Not even waiting to see anything else about it. As soon as they hear it, woke, want nothing to do with it, boycott, they're all out to get us. That's everything we've become lately. Because, I look at what's going on with Infinite Frontier. Those that are going to be bad, or those that really got me worried, they are really sounding bad. But for the most part, most of the ideas don't sound that bad. Now, a lot of the issues I've been currently reading, there's only been one or two duds, most of which are okay or really good. But everywhere I'm seeing everyone saying, oh, Infinite Frontier sucks! It sucks! It is the worst! How? You guys even read it properly? Or are you just finding anything to nitpick about so you can declare it's woke? Again, for the backpats and acolytes, they're going to say, yep, you're right, I didn't want to touch it. Thank you for taking a hit for the team. Again, you are guys, those who keep on saying those who are the Snyder Cult don't represent all of the Snyderverse fans. Okay, maybe so. But you guys out there also do not represent the majority of comic fans in existence. You have it for a long time. Stop acting like you do. And also, if you really want to be taken seriously, which I'm sure some of you do, you should actually start thinking about how others look at your actions beyond your little echo chamber. And as well as thinking also, maybe when people are saying a group is toxic, maybe start looking at those, and before assuming they're just lying and trying to make us look bad, maybe start thinking about who is the more vocal person of the group or the movement or whatever they're talking about, and then start wondering. Because look, I will admit, when it comes to Star Wars, oh yeah, when it started out, they were full of shit. Alright, they were utterly full of shit at saying all these people are toxic because they were just going for the Istafolks. Again, a number of times that does happen, but not all the time. Again, that CEO from Warner Media, she's not wrong. And all those Godzilla versus Kong, oh, they're not at all return to the Snyderverse people. Because none of those people do it. No, that's wrong. There's a good number of shown they would do it. Not all of them, I admit, but don't think that it's just some media thing to make everyone look bad for them to double down. Because, let me ask you this. What seems more likely? That there's a bunch of zealot fans out there who are willing to do this, even though they might be doing a bunch of stock puppet accounts? Or this being a mass conspiracy by the media to try and bring down one of Warner Brothers' own movies just so they can make a point saying, we're not going to cater to the fans? I think the former is more than likely because, again, I saw that speech from the CEO, and it did not sound like we want the fans to shut up and accept what we're doing. I don't get that. I get it as simply, we're moving on from the Snyderverse. We have a lot, and then the typical spiel of, we got a lot of things planned. I do not see dropping, if the people who were the more zealot portion of the Snyderverse didn't exist, then yeah, I would be in more favor. But the fact that there was such a large, toxic, vocal side of this, what was going on, I'm sorry. You cannot make me think otherwise. That when she said it, the optics was horrible for the release of the Snyder Cut by that point. And you cannot deny it. And optics mean everything. And you guys just don't want to see the optics. You just, like I said, many of you want just the immediate gratification of what everyone else is getting from super chats or views or clicks or whatever. That you don't care about how bad this may look. I mean, the Geeks and Gamers thing with Zack Snyder again. Yes, they could have told him to fuck off, get out of there, whatever, like some of you guys wanted. But what would they have done then? Especially given how they knew what the situation was leading into it. Yes, was it a betrayal? Oh, hell yeah. I'm not going to deny that. But at the same time, it basically, I think Jeremy put it best. Things were already going to look bad the moment he opened his mouth and said that. But things would have gotten worse, far worse, and then on the nose, and if they had done what many of you want them to do. Because here's the thing, those who were going to listen to them, there might be some people who might be swayed by those articles, but for the most part, it was going to be people who already wanted things to hate them. As far as those who don't know what's going on, who are actually willing to look deeper into things, of which again, there's a lot of people out there who are willing to do that, they would have looked in and be like, that's not what I see. But if they instead went off the way you guys wanted to, they would be like, oh yeah, these guys are a bunch of assholes. Again, that's the problem with this community. There are people who are more and more starting to be confirmed, and who are starting to have what these SJWs are accusing this community of as being accurate. Because of how people act. Because they think, oh, they say that? Let's just act that way. You don't do that. You don't just cave in and be like, oh, well, why bother changing? Let's just act the way they want us to. Because then that means no one's going to take you seriously. No one is going to want to think that your stuff is going to be good. And if you are the last one standing, no one's want to go, and you're not going to get a surge of numbers who are going to want to come and buy your stuff just to fill in the comic void. There's going to be more people are going to rather drop comics altogether if everything collapses. Think about that. Again, this whole rant's been all over the place, but I just need to get this whole tirade out. This whole thing is just bugging me. No, and then after the stuff with Godzilla versus Kong and seeing people trying to say, oh, it can't be returned to the Snyderverse people. It can't be at all. It's just some big conspiracy. I'm sorry. I don't buy that. Now again, is all of it returned to the Snyderverse people? Okay, probably not. Probably a bunch of trolls goofing off. But I've seen enough of them out there to know that there are a good number of the zealots, the Snyder cult out there who would be willing to do this. Whether you guys want to admit it or not. There are. Again, I'm sorry for this rant. I'm probably going to lose a lot of people from this, but I just need to let this out. I'm never going to put this on Bleeding Fool. Don't know how they'd be responding to this anyway. But yeah, that's all I wanted to say. Got a movie marathon I had with Ingrid coming up soon, building up to the Godzilla versus Kong, which I can't wait for. And I'm going to post that tomorrow. After today, I don't want to post anything else but this. So, catch you guys later, and see ya.